Module 6, View Class Results, Part 1. We are going to unpack View Class Results dashboard in two parts, as there is a great deal of information, so this will take place over Module 6 and Module 7. In this module, we will take a look at how we can preview last year's results through our calendar drop-down, our export options, including learning goals and ICANN statements, our brand new reflection data set, and the ability to have a summary data set under our each strand heading, the National Numeracy Progressions, the New South Wales Outcomes tab, and our strand overview. So let's head across to our Essential Assessment platform. Here we are in our class with our data. In the previous module, Module 5, we took a look at how we can preview the individual data. This module will head us into our View Class Results tab. It sits right alongside our Manage Class Assessments. So this is where we're going to go when we want to look at our whole class data. Clicking into our View Class Results tab, we are presented with the two different versions of the current and new New South Wales syllabus. So we're now calling our syllabus as it was the current, it is now previous, and we have our new New South Wales syllabus tab. So please ensure that we have the correct tab for the data that you are collecting. As many of you are now transitioning into the new New South Wales syllabus tab, this is our default tab. Moving to the right, we have the ability to use the drop-down, and if you have previous data from the last academic year, you can select the calendar year and view the results your students completed in that academic year. Our export options include our learning goals, ICANN statements, report comments, a class results summary, and a reflection summary. This reflection summary is brand new. I just draw your attention to the difference between the learning goals and the ICANN statements. The learning goals are an individualised printout of all of the goals for your students based on each assessment. Please be aware that the learning goals for a New South Wales Common Grade will be very large because it is based on a whole year's worth of work. Sometimes it is better to export the learning goals based on our smaller assessments around our focus areas. The ICANN statements reflects our learning goals stars and is a great place to download the stars for our students when they're using their formative assessment. And my numeracy will be unpacked in a later module. As you can see, it breaks down each of the proficiencies. There will be 5 questions for each, so the students can colour in these learning goal stars, to reflect their understanding as they complete different elements within my numeracy. So it's great to know that these ICANN statements are there available to access once you have data. Let's move across now to our strand header. So we're going to unpack these 3 different data sets. But before I take you into those data sets, please be aware of our brand new reflection tool to be able to view the data. If the reflection is turned on under assessment options, you'll now be able to see how many students reflected across those different ways to choose their emotions. Really valuable in terms of understanding our students' well-being, as well as how they're feeling about their assessments. We have the ability to sort our students in this column from most able to least able, and this will reflect in terms of an average New South Wales curriculum level. This is based on whatever has been completed. At the moment, there's only one piece of data, but as you can imagine, when you collect more and more data, this accumulates to give you this average result. We will also allocate an A to E grading. Please be mindful, this is platform based on their result, and you will need to make a school-based decision around your A to E grading and moderate with other pieces of data. So let's now go up and take a look at the data that we can view under our strand heading. So each time we click into a new strand, we will have some different data sets available. For maths, we'll have the numeracy progressions. Let's click into our numeracy progressions and see what is available. So based on any data that is collected, we can now view our results through the national numeracy progressions. If it is blue, it means the student has showed they have developed this capability, and if it is yellow, it is the next steps in learning. You are able to scroll through the sub-elements based on the numeracy progressions, but please be mindful if you have not administered a data assessment, for example, there'll be no data. Here we have our numeracy progression levels. These are not year levels, they are based on the numeracy progressions. So when you hover over each of these progressions, you'll be able to see what is required to meet this NPV, number and place value progression point. The top row is a summary set. So we'll be mindful that we can see who has developed when we hover over this and who has the next potential. So if there's more students that are not showing that understanding, it will highlight yellow. The beauty of this data set, however, is that we can come down to that individual learners and be able to highlight and see what indicators that student requires. It's a fantastic way to feed into individual learning plans for those students who require learning adjustments. This is available in export, so we have two versions. We have version 2 of the numeracy progressions and version 3. So one is an Excel spreadsheet, one is a PDF, and you can download this data in both those formats. Using our tabs, we can see we're still in View Class Results. We're in the National Numeracy Progressions, but we're going to scroll down to our New South Wales outcomes. Based on the data that we have so far collected, we can see now a summary of the New South Wales outcomes for our class. Here we can see that we have data spanning from stage 1 to stage 2. The percentages will relate to how many students sat that particular area of the curriculum. So it will be which students in my class were sitting the stage 2 assessment, what percentage of the students who sat that assessment are showing understanding. So it very quickly identifies the focus areas for your class that need more attention. And it also indicates maybe we would need to administer one of those focus areas assessment to get finer grained data. This is based on the New South Wales Common Grade Assessment. So remember that it's only one question per outcome. So we really have to sometimes drill deeper so we can hover and see what this assessment was covering, so we can see where our areas of need are. Going back to the stage below, this will be based on whichever students were sitting the assessment allocated to that stage. So it gives you a really good indicator of where you're tracking, and these percentages continue to update the more data you collect, and you can scroll back over time as our time calendar will fill in as we go through the year. Also available in export. Our strand overview is also a fantastic place to come to have that look at our year level of entitlement. So we've got a year 3 cohort here, and we're having a look based on this data set. What is highlighted? It's highlighted because there's less than 70% of understanding within our class. Once again, be mindful the percentages are based around the students who sat the assessment within those year levels or stages. So it really quickly identifies for our class what we are going to need to drill into for our teaching. If I'm a year 3 teacher, I will be teaching this curriculum. However, I need to be mindful I might need to spend a bit more time on these highlighted areas. I also need to be mindful that if students have gaps in the year below, we might need to be doing some prerequisite teaching to ensure that our students can access the at-grade level curriculum. Anything below that is usually targeted teaching to specific students who require. So remember that the percentages and the highlight is based on the students who sat that assessment. We can also filter this information so we can drill down into particular focus areas within the strand overview, and it is also exportable. So 3 fantastic data sets to support you as your class results come in.